Artificial intelligence, it is here to stay. It can help save you time. Kids use it to write books, write book reports they didn't write. It's all kinds of things out there with AI. But what happens when you go in and you're on a legitimate quest and you use the information and AI gives you the wrong information? Joining us this afternoon is Nouvelle Gonzalo of the Gonzalo Law Firm. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me, Dee. Very good to be with you as well.
Do a better explanation than I just did. Give us what we need to, what are some of the ways we need to navigate AI? What's happening out there?
Sure, absolutely. So, as a corporate and intellectual property attorney, we see this come into play a lot. And there are benefits and there are drawbacks. And like
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned, there are some benefits. It's speed, it helps cut research time in half. There's a creative boost that it adds. It's a great brainstorming tool, and it can be a resource to find hard to find information. But the issue comes in the drawbacks. And so, the drawbacks that we're seeing, especially from a legal perspective, we're seeing in copyright law with the fact that it's not clear who owns this. If you
Mm.
put something into ChatGPT,
Mm-hmm.
copyright law doesn't protect anything that isn't created by a human. So there are ownership issues that come up as well.
Now, you list some specific instances that have happened that have led to lawsuits. Give us one of them.
Sure. For example, there was a group of writers, Sarah Silverman and
Mm-hmm.
Michael Chabon, who had their book that was fed into generative AI, and they brought a lawsuit against OpenAI and Meta because their book and writing that was created was used and it was improperly trained by a machine to use their work. So they were very upset. And then also, we've seen inaccuracies
Mm-hmm.
with regard to generative AI. And in fact, there was a lawyer who used ChatGPT to cite cases in his brief, and it cited to fake cases, fake judicial opinions, fake internal citations, and he's actually facing sanctions by the New York bar as a result of that. So the
Oh, wow.
inaccuracies, and sometimes it even has dated information. ChatGPT often says it's over 2 years or so off in some of its information, so it can be
Be
inaccurate.
careful. I'll tell you an instance. I have a friend who's about to launch a song. And so she texted me and she said, "Have you tried Chat GPT?" And I said, "No." She said, "I put my information in and asked them to generate just a bio and a flyer for me." And the information was she was this fabulous singer. She was award winning. She was stellar. And she said,
Oh
"You
my
know what?
goodness.
I don't think I better use this." And so it was a wonderful, wonderful description, but it wasn't her. She said, "No, I don't."
Right.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
Absolutely, absolutely. Those inaccuracies are out there. There are also data privacy concerns because if information that's personally identifiable to a particular person or group is put into a generative AI program,
Hmm.
then that can cause issues. For example, if a physician wants to confirm a diagnosis and puts patient information in there, they want to keep it anonymous, but you can confirm that and get information. But you always want to double check. You never want to rely just on the generative AI. But Google, Microsoft, and
Hmm.
Adobe, they actually have said they'll stand behind users that are accused of IP violations. And now what they're doing is they've actually created what's called the Frontier Model Forum, where Google and Microsoft and OpenAI have come together. And it's a type of research and institute that looks at ways to create models and standards
Oh,
for
wow.
evaluating its use. So
Hmm.
that way, it's not just free reign. Children are wanting to use it in schools, and like you said, wanting to use it to write book reports.
Hmm.
But there have to be rules around it, just like when the calculator came out. You don't want to, you still have to show your work. You don't want to just
Yes.
use the calculator. So it's something that we need to make sure that children in particular, they're using and learning how to work with it, because they're going to
Hmm.
have to work with it in the workplace. So instead of shielding them from it,
Hmm.
we're learning how to work in conjunction with it.
Thank you so much. Excellent conversation. And hopefully, I'll see you again soon.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.